further ado, our keynote speaker for the evening, Dr. Abelard.
I gotta put my eyes on because you know, the age is creeping up on me. So wow, you know, I just really want to just take a moment and to acknowledge the greatness in this room. Are you guys feeling the greatness in this room? Okay. So, you know, congratulations to all of you who have already received awards. And I really want to acknowledge those all who've been nominated because you are doing tremendous service in your professions. And I really want to take a moment to acknowledge that. So thank you for all the work that you are doing. Thank you. And I am humbled to speak to you tonight on an evening that we celebrate the life of Mika Ben, an individual who really has gone too soon. I think we remember in this moment how important now is, how important the present is. Because you know what? Tomorrow is not promised. So we need to be living our best life today. Even though I have such a brief time to speak to you today, I am really hoping that you'll get the principles of what I want to speak to you about, emotional wellness. I want to challenge each and every one of you to really listen. Even want to challenge you to put your phone down for a minute, turn it over, put it on the table, and really just listen and be present. I've had the privilege of serving thousands of patients throughout the state of Massachusetts. Abelard Psychotherapy serves about patients throughout 11 counties in Massachusetts. And as an educator, I've had the pleasure of educating nurse practitioners currently who are practicing in the field and are future leaders of tomorrow. And what I can tell you is through that experience, intention is everything. If you decide you want to be something today, that opportunity exists, but you need to believe it. I can also promise you that when you believe in your own health care, your own self-care, you can make a true difference. So did you know that many of us pick celebrations, annual dates when we make change? So we say 29, 39, 49, 59, we're going to make change. We say at that point, we're going to eat better. We're going to exercise. We're going to be in the gym. We're going to connect with our people. You guys hearing me on that? We pick these dates. But my question is, why are we waiting till New Year's Eve? Why are we waiting for 30, 40, 50, 60 to make those changes that we need to make today? Why? The point that I want to impress on you today in the brief time that I have to discuss this is intentional wellness and how you've got to focus on reset, changing where you're at in this very moment. To reset is when you change something, you start it over, and or you adjust. I want to focus on social connection, sleep, and stress. So how many of you today have stress? Raise your hand. You got some stress? You got a little bit of stress? Yes. Yes. Okay, I think we can all relate to stress. Okay, so what we understand about stress is that Blacks and Latinos are amongst racial and ethnic groups that have the highest number and levels of stress. Are you guys surprised by that? No. I don't think so, right? And a lot of that has to do with generational trauma and stressors that have been brought down from our families, our legacy. And a lot of it has to do with the here and now as well. We know that research demonstrates that there to be a strong correlation of stress with illness. So the more stressed we are, the more prone we are to stress. I want you to leave here today with a mantra: reset. Because remember, we don't have to wait for those celebrations and anniversary dates to make a difference. So when it comes to stress, did you know that there's good stress, right? And bad stress? Did you guys know that?
No.
Did you also know that when we are happy, we have a slow and steady type of breathing that we all emit? But did you know that when we're stressed, we have an irregular, shallow, and quick response? Have you guys heard of meditation? Yes? I don't hear y'all. Have you guys heard of meditation? Okay, okay. So because through meditation, what we learn is that the focus is on the breath. And by slowing things down, we can actually trick our minds into thinking our stressors are not as stressful as they are in the moment. And so, reset. I'd like to invite everybody for a moment. And I demonstrate this in my community mental health clinic. We serve about 2,500 members in Massachusetts. And one of the things that I practice a lot is this power of your breath. So will you practice with me for one moment? I want to invite everybody to the present, and I want to ask you to take a nice cool breath in, and a nice warm breath out. One more time. Cool breath in. Nice warm breath out. How many of you did that feel good? And for those of you that it didn't feel good, I really want to ask you to practice that, because it is through meditation and taking active breaths that we can truly bring ourselves to the present. Next, I want to talk to you about loneliness and depression. It's something we don't talk enough about, but I want to share with you that a nationwide survey reveals that since the pandemic, the number of dinners eaten together has fallen. I don't know if y'all remember that when we were on lockdown, some of us were cooking more, we were at home, we were working together, but ever since restrictions lifted, what we found is that through our schedules, we are just not spending as much time as we need to. So through that, we found that over 40% of high school young adults have become more depressed and more isolated. There's been studies through Harvard Medical that have shown that just eating together 2 to 3 times a week can really improve our stress levels in the home. Not only that, it can increase nutrition, decrease obesity, decrease the number of unhealthy snacks, and absolutely decrease isolation. So eating together absolutely helps with emotional wellness. And of course, screen time, right? The studies have also shown that if we're sitting together at a dinner table and half of us have our phones and we're not paying to each other, that impacts that social connectedness. And it actually decreases the efficacy and the benefits of that mental wellness that we can get from being together. So now, my biggest thing is screen time. I can't tell you how much I talk about this in my private practice, how much I talk about this with students that I educate through my academic program. But did you know that right now, we are the most connected we have ever been in history. But yet, we are the most disconnected we've ever been. Are you guys hearing me? Yes. So TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat has really captured our attention. So much so, and many people don't know this, but a lot of the platforms, they learn us. There's algorithms that are being performed. So they learn what you like, what you don't like, and they keep giving it to you. So those of you who've been thinking, geez, I've lost my spouse, I've lost my teenager, I've lost my friend, because they're in their phone 24/7. Those algorithms are playing into what we want. So what I say to you is take a break from your screen time and look up and be aware of who's in your presence. Are you guys hearing me? Is this making sense? Okay, okay. And the other thing I want to talk to is the importance of sleep. I want you to think for a minute, where are your phones at nighttime? Where are your phones? Are your phones closer than your partner in your bed? Are they closer than your partner in your bed? Okay? And if you're shaking your head yes, that's an important opportunity to reshift, okay? Did you know that the National Institute of Health recommends for adults that we should be sleeping at least 10 hours? How many of you sleep at least 10 hours? Raise your hand. I see someone in the back. One person.
10 hours a week.
Okay?
10 hours a week.
Okay, 10 hours a week, someone's saying in the front. But the other thing I want to say about sleep is that sleep is the time that we recharge. So can you imagine taking a trip to another country and you didn't recharge your phone? Can you imagine that? As young parents, I remember with our babies and my husband, we had a set time when the baby went to sleep. We had a set time when we fed the baby. We had a set time when the baby came up. So why is it that us adults think we can function on 4 hours of sleep? How do we think that? We don't need a schedule. We don't need structure. So these are the things that I think we ought to think about.